A Russian ballerina, stomping on a bureaucrat. A perky suburban housewife who just got into scat. It's whimsically volatile.
Barbara, please.
Please, Barbara.
Are you there, Craig?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Is there anybody out there?
Are you listening? Papa, can you hear me?
Mother, are you listening? Craig, I have an idea.
Yeah, what's that?
like-
Katya, what is that idea?
Craig,
Yes, Katya.
I think that you should consider the very real possibility that I have a songbird voice.
Yes. Well, you've complimented me on my voice many times. And let me say that you also, Katya, have a terrific voice, a delightful radio sound.
I have to say thank you.
Well, yes, darling. It's very gracious of you to accept a compliment the proper way.
And I accept these compliments with the utmost humility.
Yes, you do. It's been quite an enjoyable process.
I do enjoy the hypnotic qualities of the human vocal register.
Yes.
Yes.
It's quite enjoyable.
Can I teach you a word in another language?
Yes, please.
This is Spanish for the opposite of yes. No.
Okay. Uh-huh.
No.
Oh, wait. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can get that. No.
Hold on. You got to listen very carefully.
You're right. I was
for the
being
diction.
A little,
No.
Wait, hold on. I need quiet.
Try it
for
again.
this. No.
No, you're just completely not getting it.
All right. Well, maybe it's because we're tired. Maybe it's because we're tired.
I'm tired. We went to IHOP last night at 3 a.m.
We did. Neither of us could sleep, or rather, we'd both woken up around that time or something.
I popped out of bed at 1:30 a.m. because I thought, it's time for brekkie. And then it turns out that my friend Jason, who is also my physical fitness trainer, he did the same thing.
Interesting.
Must have been something going on with the moon.
There must have been. Actually, yesterday I found an abundance of rudeness out in the world.
Well, Craig.
Yes, Katya?
That rudeness, I'm sorry to say, was very present.
Oh, you felt that as well? You experienced some of that?
I also put rudeness out into the atmosphere.
Interesting. How did that happen?
I'm fucking crazy. Have you ever not known what reality was?
I'm sure at times, yeah. But then at the time, you don't realize that it's not reality.
And then you're thinking about, well, then what the hell is time? And then you're like, all right, here we go. This is the short bus train to Cuckoo Bananas.
Uh-huh.
And that's me.
Okay.
Sorry to make it all about me again.
Well.
But we woke up and went to IHOP.
And IHOP was closed.
IHOP was closing. Then we went to Kitchen 24, and
Kitchen
that was
24,
closed.
for listeners who are not familiar, Kitchen 24 is, as it sounds, a 24-hour diner, upmarket diner in West Hollywood. There's also another location in Hollywood proper. And on Monday nights, they close at about, 4 or something?
Yeah,
4?
She went down to Kitchen 22 last night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
She was about Kitchen 23 and a half. And we were right past the nick of time. And then... but it is nice to be out on the streets when nobody's there. Although, like our guest will say later on or before just now, humans are not night owls. But I've been a night owl.
Yeah, I have as well. Yeah, we get into this with our guest, Kate O'Donnell, later in this episode. But I've definitely had times in my life where my schedule has been so berserk that it doesn't even make sense. I mean, the last couple of days there was just naps, then a lot of work, and then naps when I was too tired to continue working, napping and then getting up. So, but that's okay for me in spurts because as long as I'm getting the goal achieved, then I don't mind. What I don't like is then the after effect of that sometimes is that my schedule will be screwed up for a few days afterward, and it's hard to get back into the rhythm of things.
Yeah. When I'm used to traveling so much that a permanent sense of jet lag has set in.
Sure.
Whereas so you can kind of just, you grab sleep where you can get it. But that can be very taxing on the physical body systems and the brain.
That's true. Tour life, living and sleeping is a very specific thing. I worked on 2 tours, I think, and you really do forget what day it is. You don't know what day it is.
You don't know what day it is.
Because here's the thing, though, about those sort of structures. When you're in situations where it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. So when the whole gig of the gig is you got to get to the next town that is 7 hours away by a certain time, that's the only goal in mind. And if you are tired, you sleep when sleep is available. And same thing with eating. You're just eating whenever you're hungry if it's accessible.
Right. And that's a weird place to be in. And it sounds a little bit, now, of course, there are people who struggle with finding food at all times of the day.
Well, sure. But I mean, more specifically, instead of you wake up at the same time every day, have this a meal at breakfast time or lunchtime, whatever that is, very definition. It is kind of interesting to sort of get out of that system. Because not that you see all of that stuff is arbitrary, but when you see that those things can be flexed,
yes,
or that you can survive outside of those systems, I don't know, it gives you some kind of perspective. I will say, though, that it's not great to be outside those systems too long. No,
certainly you want to Now, for the listeners at home, you want to maintain steady contact with potable water and delicious food. But yeah, no, it's I've had many. My body's fucking resilient, apparently. Mm-hmm. I trashed my body for a long time.
Yeah.
And I put it through the ringer. But I never get sick.
Mm-hmm.
Hardly ever.
I rarely do. But then when I do, it's really bad. I actually had the flu last year for the first time in so long that I was shocked to discover that I had the flu. I couldn't figure out why I felt so rotten because, you get bugs, you get little things. But this flu was brutal. And I got it, I think, on the flight back from New Orleans.
Damn.
So that will fuck you up.
Yeah, the flu will fuck you up big time.
Also getting sick on a plane or from a plane ride.
Man. I went on a flight after having such a cocaine hangover once. And it was my entire nose was felt like it was made a block made out of wood.
Ooh.
And you were just
so it was dry, stuffed
up and completely, and I was haggard. But thank God I got to go in the first class, Craig, and I peed all over the bidet.
Was there a bidet on the flight?
I wish there was. No, there wasn't a bidet.
Oh, that's what you just called the seat next to yours.
Yeah,
that's right.
Listen. If there's a water source, it's a bidet. Have you ever washed your butt in a sink? That's a personal question.
I have not.
I haven't either. Uh-huh. I'm still holding out on that one.
Well, you're waiting until the right time. You don't want to take everything in life and experience it all at once. You want to save some delightful things for the future.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You want to have a bucket list.
That's right. So bus station terminal sink ass washing.
Yeah.
That's,
Have you ever shaved in a public bathroom?
I don't think I have.
You haven't lived yet. How old are you? 12?
Look, I'm going to be 13 soon. So I'd like to think of it as 12 and a half.
Okay, that's fine. Have you ever been hypnotized by the guiding light of Jesus H. Christ? That's a trick question. Don't answer that.
Let's see. Yeah, I have no comments.
Okay, thank you. I would like to remind you that it is Holy Week for all the Christians out there. Now, of course,
this won't be airing then.
But you know what? That was a trick.
Fuck it.
that was a trick, Craig. Every week is Holy Week, bitch.
Oh, okay, right. So you're more devout in those matters than I am.
I'm not going to make any grand pronouncements because I'm going to be honest. My mental health is in flux.
Well, isn't everyone's?
Hello. But I have a newfound interest in organized religion that
really?
I've always been interested in. Yeah, no, but I've
the outfits or
yes. I've had a reinvigorated interest in Christian mythology and theology because the artwork surrounding it, especially Russian icons, is so beautiful it makes me shit myself.
Well, then that's kind of a hazard then.
Well, I wear a great diaper.
Oh, really? What brand? Or do you not want to say? We don't have them as a sponsor yet, so I wouldn't.
I tape 4 Huggies and 4 Pampers together and make a big old adult diaper, and I say, ow.
I'm good for the day.
Yeah, I'm good for the day and the nighttime sometimes.
Do you remember was it an astronaut who, there was a woman who drove to, there was some kind of, I don't know. I'm going to have to look this up and talk about it again. It's not worth talking about again. I won't cut this. I'll leave this in as an example of where our fractured mind is at the moment, because I just couldn't get the energy together to string that together.
We're floundering. See, I'm weaving in and out of layers of consciousness, and not because I've had a ice cold refreshing Coca-Cola Classic, because I've.
That's not a euphemism either.
No cocaína para mí, gracias, and I feel looped because my sleep schedule, I have not been able to sleep well, and not sleeping, bitch, that will fuck you up. Kate has a little paragraph in the book called this.
Kate, who is going to be our guest later, we'll be talking with.
Kate O'Donnell, the OG yoga master, who's also my friend and a great yoga teacher. She talks about sleep or death. Do you want to die? Don't sleep.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
if you're not sleeping, you're going to die.
I've had things where I was working on something and then I ended up for way too many hours.
Yeah.
It does fuck you up.
It fucks you up, and it weathers and wears upon your perception of reality. Anybody who's had sleep disorders, anybody who's suffered from anxiety, especially at nighttime, and your job performance suffers, your zest for life is evaporated.
Nothing's fun.
Nothing is fun.
It's just no
everything's a drag.
It's kind of like in Fight Club.
Yes.
When at the point in the movie where he can't sleep at all and everything is gray and gross. That's what happens.
Yeah, that is. It's a gloomy, weighted fog, and it's also
grainy too. It's
grainy. It can be like almost like your body's like scratched by the air.
Yeah,
like everything is a. It's like when heroin addicts are detoxing. A paper cut can feel like you're being eviscerated, because your pain receptors are just like so blown out.
Sure, yeah.
And if you haven't slept, it's just like, oh my God, everything just feels awful.
Yeah.
And I used to do speed where I'd stay up for 3 nights, 4 nights, sometimes 5 days.
Whoa.
5 days of no sleeping.
That's
bananas. When the shadow people come.
Yeah.
That's when everything starts to become very murky, hazy, and then I've fallen asleep standing up.
Oh wow!
Leaning against something.
Yeah.
Just nod out, and then you're like, whoa, okay, I just almost fell completely asleep. It's a narcoleptic kind of situation.
Well, because your body's so taxed, it's done. It's just
done.
Not paying attention to. You should.
No.
I in my early 20s sometimes just with caffeine, a lot of caffeine.
You're kidding.
Had like 2 days in a row, or 2.5 because I was like working on music and then had to work a job and then, and then I had that thing. I was at a job and then I had a candy bar and I was passing out. I remember also falling asleep on the T.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, I've done that many times.
And I remember falling asleep and going, this is great. I look like a junkie because it was just because I was tired. The last time that I fell asleep like that, I had been up, not for like over a day, but I had been working on an edit project at this job. And then at the time, Blythe, who, as you heard on a previous episode, we used to be together, and she had a horrific back problem that resulted in her needing surgery. But basically, it was like when your partner has to go to the hospital, and then you go, and it was 1.5 to 2 days of almost no sleep because we had to go to the emergency room twice. They misdiagnosed and sent her back, and she couldn't move without excruciating pain. So there was that, and then what was I going to say? See, again, I'm a little fractured. I'm a little spotty here, but that was I forget where I was going with that. But I remember having that. Oh, I know. I was falling asleep in a chair next to her bed that was in the emergency room area where they just put a bed in the hallway. That's when the emergency rooms are always overtaxed. Mm-hmm. They're always overburdened. So they stuck me in a chair, and I just could not stay awake. And so, sometimes you just have to go with it.
Oh, it's awful. It's the worst thing ever. It's the worst thing ever. I always just think of those goddamn Freddy Krueger movies. You're just like trying to stay up, to stay up. Do you have nightmares?
Yeah, I do. Not constantly, but I definitely have them. I have good dreams too, but I don't remember either one of them, or rather, I don't remember either type of them very well. Uh-huh. Although a nightmare, which for me it won't be phantasmagoric or anything. It'll sort of just be, actually, it's kind of like a David Cronenberg film, not with body horror, but it'll be a normal situation, but things will go horribly wrong. There'll be some kind of really awful interpersonal thing, and I'll wake up startled, and then that kind of feeling will be with me for a little while. Then the actual contents of the dream will fade away pretty quickly. How about you?
No
nightmares?
No.
Do you have dreams at all, or?
I don't dream very much these days. I don't. I just fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then I'm having a hard time falling asleep, but because I'm so wired naturally. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't dream much these days.
Interesting.
Yeah, I used to have when I was doing drugs, I used to have sleep paralysis.
Okay.
So what happens is a lot of times if I would like fall asleep, if you party or you do stimulants and stuff and you stay up and you get exhausted, or if you just get exhausted, and then you take a nap, a lot of times you'll have this kind of experience where you feel that you're about half awake, and you're getting strangled by a shadow monster.
Sure, yeah.
And it feels real.
Yeah.
And you're aware that you're dreaming, but you're kind of like paralyzed. You're like, I can't move my body. I can't stop this thing that's happening. It's terrifying. but I kind of know it's not real, but it feels very real. And then you're like, huh! And then you kind of just wake up. But it happened to me in Ireland once. Mm-hmm. I was at a hotel that was very ooky spooky, and I had to sit out in the hallway and go on Twitter because I was like, and then I realized, if I just lay on my side, it doesn't happen. Isn't that strange?
That is strange.
Yeah, because I fall asleep like Dracula sometimes. I have my hands on my literally like Dracula, like a vampire in a Dracula movie.
Yeah.
And I just I go like, I'm ready for bed now, and then I kind of lie flat on my back with my hands like tucked on to my like belly or chest.
Yeah.
And then I'll wake up looking like a crazy person. But if you fall asleep on your side or you change the side that you usually fall asleep on, I've heard that really helps, and it did actually help me a lot.
That's interesting. How do you typically fall asleep? On your back, on your side?
Now I do like a side thing.
Yeah.
And just try to I'm a comfortable nap, but I was obsessed with being straight out and symmetrical.
I'm interesting. Yeah. I tend to fall asleep on my back, and I could maybe wake up on my side, but generally I can't fall asleep on my side. And I can never fall asleep if I'm laying on my front. It just doesn't work for me.
I can if I'm so exhausted, I could probably fall asleep with my legs behind my head.
Yeah, it can happen.
Cars make me fall asleep almost right away. Yeah, if I'm a passenger in a car, I could just conk the fuck out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep, it's that motion. It's just like, oh my god, it puts me right to bed.
What about flights? Can you sleep on? Yeah.
Well, no, that's a lie. I rest on flights. I usually don't watch movies on flights. I literally just lay. I try to just relax and rest my body. I try to it's not meditating really. I sit still. I close my eyes, and I just am still.
Okay. Yeah.
And it feels
restorative somehow.
It feels restorative. It does feel restorative. It's no substitute for a full night's sleep, let me tell you. Unless you're in that super duper business class where you can stretch the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Because then it's like a cocoon, a bullet in the air cocoon.
Yeah.
You're literally flying on a bullet cocoon.
Right.
Through the air. 30,000 feet or some shit.
Yeah.
You're sleeping in the air.
I prefer, if I'm on a flight, I will watch some stuff, but if I can sleep, I'm so excited.
Yeah. There's so many flight horror stories I have.
The one where you peed on the seat.
Well, yeah, the one where I took a shit in my own hand and threw it into coach and said, "You commoners!" Just kidding.
They didn't mind that though because you paid for the privilege.
I paid for this ticket, and this for your information. It's first class shit you're getting thrown at you.
And then wipe myself with your handbills.
Yeah, I wipe my ass with a $200 bill,
and then I light it on fire.
Yeah, and I throw it away. Gregory. Did you know that I've stuck a furniture up my ass before?
A furniture. Now, what is a furniture?
I'm talking about a large ottoman set.
Oh, the entire thing?
Stuck one up. I'm just kidding.
But what was the fabric? I think that's the critical thing.
It was velveteen.
Velveteen, interesting.
I have to get in touch with my anus.
Well, on another episode, you seemed like you were pretty in touch with your anus, and as it had a very delicate flora and fauna.
It's true. The douche is something that is very delicate for me. But guys, if you're out there listening, let's talk about your holes. Let's talk about your booty holes.
Yeah, sure.
You know, men, do you fuck your ass with an object? Could it be a finger? Could it be a dick? Could it be a dildo? Listen, this has nothing to do with your sexuality, by the way.
That's true.
Craig, I have a challenge for you.
Okay, what's that?
Stuff this furniture up your ass. I'm just kidding. No, but it doesn't have anything to do with your sexual preference, guys. If you don't know this already about yourself,
I feel like a lot of our listeners might know this, but
I don't assume anything anymore.
No, that's a good point.
I really don't, because Craig, I've met a lot of people.
That's true, yeah.
I've met a lot of people.
Shouldn't make gross assumptions.
I'm going to make all the gross assumptions I want.
No, I shouldn't make gross
you shouldn't. No, leave the gross assumptions to me. You can focus on the less gross ones.
Yeah. I'll stick to filthy assertions.
Filthy insertions.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
How about rancid insertions, filthy assertions, and gross assumptions?
That's good. I like that. That's
Hell
a good.
yeah.
That's like the 3 classes of yoga. I think that Kate talks about
those
later.
Are the 3 limbs of your mom's huge yoga ass. But yeah, the if you like stuff in your ass, that's not a crime.
No,
it's not a crime. But I would encourage people out there to ask themselves, do I have to have all the furniture up my ass?
Yeah, and if you're going to use the furniture, figure out which is the sort of least stain prone.
Yeah. And also it being a little greedy with everything got to fly up your butt and that's it for the guys out there. I would check that. See what's going on there. If you have to have 14 dicks up your butt in one day, that could present a problem. Now, it depends on what line of work you're in, of course, and I don't dare shame nobody, but I do also, I wonder about it because I think that the key to sex is about balance and it's about cooperation. 50-50. You got to have a versatile attitude, and you don't have to be versatile to be a good person, certainly at all. But it's the proclivities and the preferences of people in sex these days. They're varied, they're myriad, and they are beguiling and bedazzling and bewildering to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't have all the furniture up my ass. I just can't fit it up there.
Yeah.
You know, somebody could stick a foot up my butt.
I guess that's true, yeah.
Do people do that?
No, people definitely do that,
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
A foot up the butt. Have you ever had a foot up your butt?
I have not.
Probably in this lifetime, you will not have a foot up your butt.
I would say that that's a fairly safe assumption.
I don't think I'm ever going to get punted, but I'll never say never.
Punted, it makes sense. That's a great little term for that.
What do you think about slut shaming?
It's not good.
I'm a slut, but what is a slut?
Well, I think in terms of when you say slut shaming, it's the classification would be someone who a wanton woman, if you will.
Yeah.
But the shame is it's a tough one today. They're being shamed for enjoying sexual intercourse with multiple partners or quite often.
Right.
I think it's jive though to do that because wouldn't people like to be having as much sex as possible in general? You know,
I think so. And I think,
rather, wouldn't a person like to be having as much sex as possible?
Right. But I think like, you get, I think it has to do with, slut shame has to do with judgment.
Yeah.
Judgment. Yeah. And it's like, well, you can't be the judge of me. And it's like, well, yeah, you're right about that.
Right.
Freedom is freedom and our bodies are our bodies. But I think sometimes like what I've observed in people and certainly many men and some women, but many men, they're out of control with the sex. All they want to do is fuck.
Well, okay, so there's a difference there then, because I think the classical definition of slut shaming, or what I think of as slut shaming, are people who talk shit about someone because
they're loose and they have a lot of sex.
They're having a lot of fun with their body.
Right.
But then when you're talking about something that sounds more like a compulsion or possibly an addiction.
Yeah. Well, sex turns into an addiction when you find yourself in situations that jeopardize your mental and physical health.
A lot of people feel that sex addiction is not a real thing. As for what we're talking about, addiction is a good sort of catch-all for any kind of compulsion like
compulsive
that.
Act. Well, it's a compulsive behavior that ends up fucking you up.
Right.
Like when you find yourself a lot of people out there who've struggled with sexual behavior as a sexual dysfunction.
Yeah.
You find yourself in situations where it's like, oh my God, I'm doing this. Why am I doing this? I don't even want to be doing this, but I'm so propelled by these lustful urges that are really, really, really compelling and that are unavoidable.
And it's not the power of Christ that's compelling you.
No, that's the power of your mom's huge butt. She's saying, fuck me, bitch. And
then your head spins around and you vomit some green stuff.
Yeah, some pea soup.
Crawl down the stairs backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have a spider walk. And if you don't do the head turn and say, La bloom de madame, you're just not doing drag.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
But
by the way, next season, look for that at the workroom walk-ins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't walk into RuPaul's Drag Race upside down, spewing out green pea soup and jamming a crucifix in your punane,
you just ain't ready for the competition.
You might as well just retire from drag right there.
Yeah, it's not a best friends race. Sorry,
it's not. It's the devil's race. No.
So when you're talking about those situations, it's very similar to how people describe when they're at their rock bottom with drugs.
Yeah.
That they're hanging out with people that they wouldn't ever, and they're in situations that are risky and reckless.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a compulsion. That's an addictive behavior. Yeah. Also, but anything like that, though, it's a distraction from other things.
It's a distraction. Yeah, it really is. And I think that it's tough it's really unfair to judge people, which I do all the time, and I'm trying to be better at it.
Everyone judge people all the time. Yeah. But I think it's the way that you process it and then verbalize it.
Yeah.
Everyone can make a judgment, but I think also when you sit and think, oh, I'm making a judgment about them, like, oh, I shouldn't do that. Or
well, judge not, lest ye be judged, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, he among you who, what is it? What does it say?
He among you who he.
He among you who he how now.
Who he ha na na.
Let he who has not sinned cast the first stone.
Right.
Yeah. And but it's all in the service of being happy. It's like, okay, am I all of these behaviors that I'm doing, are they supporting my overall well-being? And life is about controlling our urges.
Right.
And sometimes these urges are just unavoidable. Sometimes these urges are, often the urges are unavoidable, but these urges are, you can deal with them.
But also there's certain urges that if you think about them, say watching porn or whatever, what's the harm? So you got to think about those things too. Like, is this really a bad thing, or do I want to do this? Okay, I want to do this. Why do I feel bad about it? Is it because it's a shameful, quote unquote, shameful thing that I'm embarrassed about? But why are you embarrassed about it? So I think there's a huge spectrum.
Can I make a shameful illicit? Oh no, sorry. Can I make a Can I make a shameful? Can I make a shameless illicit confession?
Oh yes, please.
I fuck a sex doll.
Yeah.
I have a sex doll, and I love it.
Now, what kind of sex doll is it? So there's a range. There's the little cheap blow up numbers. There's the ones that are sort of a piece of anatomy that are meant to be lifelike. Then there's those fleshlights, which is not a doll, of course, although you could put a wig on it.
You can put a wig on anything, Craig. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
Put a wig on
all?
it. Yeah.
I hope that was a funny joke. I can't quite tell at this point. We're struggling. We are struggling.
The struggle is real.
Yeah. And real is the struggle. And then on the other end, the highest end of the spectrum, the top shelf of sex dolls are the real dolls. So what do you have?
I got a real headless hoe lady.
Oh yeah.
It's no head. It's a little bit disturbing. It looks like a disembodied torso, and I don't get into decapitating or otherwise mutilating bodies.
Well, of course not. No.
Just to be clear.
This is easier for fitting in luggage, though.
Yeah, well, she's quite heavy.
Really?
Although she would be so distraught if I said that on the air.
Well, she can't hear you, though,
no,
can
she can't. She does not have a head. Mm-hmm. It's her name is Jennifer with a G.
Yeah.
And she's a headless wonder. And I've had penetrative congressional relations with this doll item.
Yeah.
More than a few times. And I don't know why I'm sharing that. I just feel compelled to do so. And she's great.
Well, then what's the harm?
There's really no harm at all because it's latex and it's squishy. It's almost like having a giant fleshlight.
Okay.
Have you had a fleshlight?
I don't have one, but I've been curious. Yeah.
Yeah. In gentlemen who have a hard time achieving sexual orgasm during Congress, you also might not want to grip your dick like the fucking, like it's a
death grip as they call it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you're hanging one-handed from a pole in an action movie.
Yeah.
You don't want to have that kind of grip on your dick, which is and a lot of these you can also practice your moves if you're ever trying to like impress the ladies or the menses or anything in between, and you're trying to get your stroke right with penetration and stuff, and you're also trying to maybe stretch out your hips a little bit. It's great exercise.
Sure, yeah.
It really is. It's like you're just jamming away and you don't have to hump your pillow.
Right.
And you can blast your nasty load right in there. Clean it out later with some detergent.
Yeah, just keep it clean.
Don't even let it rot. Who knows? Lick the wall.
Well, whatever you're into. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd also like to encourage people to have a sip of potable water if it's available.
Let's do that right now. Wait, let's have a cheers.
Yes,
yes, darling.
The clinking of plastic in the estate sounds.
But sadly, those are two glasses that were just clinking. But that's the sort of day it's been, isn't it?
Yes, it has.
While Brian and Craig are outside, they've asked me to relay a few pieces of information to you on their behalf. First off, they'd like to say thank you very much for all the lovely notes, comments, and artwork you've been sending their way. Secondly, they said thank you, love, love, love to all the lovely iTunes reviews. Please hit subscribe on iTunes, and also if you are Stitcher, Spotify, or SoundCloud customer, we're there as well. I mean, they're there. On Instagram and Twitter, it's at Katya and Craig. Of course, you can find Katya at Katya_Zamo and Craig at Videodrome Disco. That's VIDEO Drone Disco. And now, back to the show.
Craig, Craig. Oh, God, sometimes.
Yes, Katya.
Sometimes doing this podcast is so erotic. No, Craig, I am a musical dilettante.
Okay.
Which means that I am a dabbler.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a musical expert. I play no musical instruments. Although I recently discovered that when I do not have access to musical arrangements, I become very frustrated. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. When do those instances occur? What are the circumstances when that happens?
Well, I had a period of time where I did not have access to the internet.
Oh, okay.
And this was an important period of time, both at a yoga retreat and at a rehab center. Now, radios were available.
Okay.
But I don't like those commercials.
Sure.
Not if I'm not doing them.
Right. Those are the only good kind of commercials.
Yeah. Hey, guys, have you ever wanted to drive a Jeep? Here's one. Do you have $40,000? That's not a good Jeep commercial?
That's a great Jeep commercial.
Maybe in hell.
Hopefully they'll be calling us very soon.
Hey, Jeep Grand Cherokee, we're just chomping at the bit for some $1.
That'd be more of a mid-roll commercial.
What is a mid-roll?
So mid-roll is what they call the commercials that people put in podcasts in the middle of a show. So it's mid-roll. Pre-roll is at the top of the show when you say, hey, everyone, this episode's brought to you by blah, blah, blah.
Oh, sure. So you have that radio voice, which makes me not trust you implicitly.
Good.
Okay.
That's what you should be feeling.
No, you have. But so what I realized is that sometimes a man's voice, all that it's good for me personally,
Sure.
is to have a hypnotic lulling effect. Mm-hmm. For example, if I want to listen to the truth, I'll talk to a woman.
That's fair enough.
But if I want to go to bed, give me a man. Seriously, my brain works on a level where it kind of identifies tone, which does not have a gender, of course.
Right.
But it identifies tone, and then it says, perk up or go to bed.
Right.
When I hear Erykah Badu on pretty much every single one of her recordings, because I have a giant playlist that's everything I can find at a reasonable distance, I always hear love.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
I always hear love. It doesn't matter what she's talking about, because actually all of her lyrics are profound, transcendent, and true to life stories that's not only compelling, but just really cool.
Yeah, and also you're a fan of music where you don't know the language, although you know a few languages, though, so that's not exactly...
Well, yeah, I listen first and then translate later.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually most of music is received as just sound.
Yeah.
I mean, how many songs do you know and love that you don't know the lyrics to necessarily? Or even if you do know the lyrics, you don't know what the fuck it might mean.
Do you know that my favorite first album, like I had some tapes and stuff, my favorite first CD, the one that I was like, I have to buy the CD, was actually a fucking Cirque du Goddamn Soleil soundtrack called Saltimbanco.
Oh, well, that's fine then. Yeah.
Well, because a lot of the songs were in a created language of gibberish, bitch. No, they were like, they wanted to make it an actual live super. Anyways, blah blah blah.
It's like Klingon.
It's exactly like Klingon. Yeah. It's just a made up language. There's Igpe Atenlay for all you fucking nerds out there.
Secretive nerds.
Secret. It's about secrets. Mm-hmm. See, it's a secret handshake. And then like you have in Africa two very simple words, but ka and ba, very two different things. Go look it up. But anyways.
Well, I know now that you mentioned language, also that reminds me of one of my favorite invented languages, Polari.
Polari.
So Polari is kind of like Cockney rhyming slang.
Oh.
And Cockney rhyming slang, the way that functions is, let's see. So if someone wants to say, before I say how it all works, the intended purpose of it is to basically throw cops or any other authorities off the scent of what you're talking about.
Totally.
So someone would say I had a butcher's at their face. It means I had a look at their face. But what you have to know the convention of the language, in that butcher's hook is what they're using as the rhyme, right? It's got to rhyme with whatever you're actually talking about. Right. But they leave out the first part.
Yeah.
Or no, rather the second part. It gets confusing.
It's a 1, 2, 3 punch.
It is, and they leave out certain words. But Polari is the gay version.
Okay. Wait. I know a Cockney rhyming slang that from Scotland that's going to blow your mind.
Okay, blow my mind.
So you've stumbled out of a bathhouse, just to tie the two together. You've stumbled out of a bathhouse and you're high on meth. And I say, hey, how's your Nat King? Nat King Cole? Cole rhymes with hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Yeah.
That's disgusting. Today on That's Disgusting.
Human life.
Thank you very much, and come back next time for the next episode of That's Disgusting.
Yeah.
Some words will transcend the invented language or code language to become a regular part of day-to-day discussions, such as the word drag. That is from Polari. So if someone said, for instance, Morrissey has an album called Bona Drag, which means good clothes.
Yeah.
And so Bona is good.
Yeah.
There's a few other ones that have come from that. Kiki probably came from that.
Kiki, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of, back in Boston, they'd say, girl was a key. It was a key. Girl, we keyed.
Right,
we
right.
We came together, we fell out. A lot of the like simplified drag dialect is a socioeconomic reflection of a particular state of being, where it is a lot of times poor black folks, but you want to talk about the socioeconomic strata. Very low on the bottom in America in that time was black sissies. So if you were a black sissy, your life chances were slim.
Yeah.
Period. Point blank. Back in before AIDS ravaged New York City. It's all about passing. It's saying and the realness is all about, can I pretend for just a simple moment that I am in fact a transatlantic countess or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Executive realness, of course. We all know what that is.
Yes, darling. Well, actually, some people don't know what executive realness because they never had a damn job.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what executive realness is in terms of presenting.
A very, very good fake it till you make it executive realness demonstration via film would be Melanie Griffith and Working Girl.
I was just thinking that as you said that. Yeah.
And Joan Cusack tries to bring her down. She says, "Listen, don't act more. Don't act a fool because you're gonna get burned." And Joan Cusack says, "Just because I sing and dance in my underwear doesn't make me Madonna." And she's got 3-tone garage door eyeshadow, looking amazing by the way, but trashy. She was a trash heap in that, but she was the comic relief, of course, the sassy best friend.
Right.
Yeah. But why were we talking about all this? Oh, wait. Language.
Yeah, we were talking about language, and then led to Cockney rhyming, slang, and Polari.
But why were we talking about language?
That I'm not sure, actually.
Okay. Well, I have to say I'm sorry.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Madonna, who I love, the Madonna, like Mary.
Sure.
Like in the Christian mythology, the Madonna, the Mother of God, who gave an immaculate conception in the Catholic tradition.
And we've referred to the Madonna and also the differentiation between Madonna and the Madonna a few times on this show. So
yeah, and it just means milady. Just means milady in Italiano. Just means milady. You have the Virgin is a more general.
General virgin.
The anal virgin.
Oh, okay. That's more of a general state, though, isn't it? It's a porous state.
Well, it's a volatile state.
So it's a volatile state. It's a transitional state.
Oh, it surely is. Hermaphrodite, the ultimate transition. Transitioning out of hermaphrodites into virgins.
I see. Right.
So this is, of course, we have the price tag on the hymen of the girl to bring the health to the family. But anyways, the mythology of the Virgin Mother, she who is untainted by childbirth to deliver the Son of God unto the world. That is, I love that. And going from there to the Madonna Ciccone.
Yeah.
She has a song on Confessions on a Dance Floor called what? What is it? I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
But Conventions of a Dance Whore is my album.
It's a good response album, much like Liz Phair's Exile in Guyville was a response to the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street.
It's a clap back. Get it? Clap trap back.
Yeah.
So Pussy Bites Back. Mama, mine just squirts across the pond. And she's living in Lisbon right now, I believe, because they have decriminalized sex and drugs.
Oh, okay.
I believe. That could be a lie. And so, but Madonna said sorry in all these different languages. And what I realized after I have gained a small amount of emotional clarity because I have done what? Put down the drugs. Yes, God. I have more and more the fog begins to clear when you ravage your neurochemistry with substances. Yeah. Any substances, right?
Right. Sugar.
Sugar. Well, I mean, there's a higher, I'm not going to sit here and
I'm
pretend.
just going sugar.
But no, yes, absolutely. White sugar is a fucking poison.
Yeah, exactly.
And also high fructose corn syrup, I believe I heard from one doctor that the liver or the kidneys metabolize it like a poison.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and we could have a whole goddamn food blog about what should you put in your body.
But just for the purpose of talking about how you can get clouded by anything, you really can get clouded by anything. Too much caffeine, too much sugar, too much bread.
And then exhaustion, like the good old Mariah Carey had once talked about via press release.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Telling your lambs what the tea was.
yeah, what was the tea? Well, she's tired, and then guess what? She rose from the ashes.
Play Marilyn Monroe's piano.
Right? Yeah, I don't know what that means. Oh, yes,
Well,
I do.
On Cribs, she was very proud to present to the cameras Marilyn Monroe's piano, which I don't know really what the purpose of that. That's sort of like saying I have Eddie Van Halen's footstool or something.
Oh, come on, Craig. I would love to have like Cloris Leachman's inhaler.
Well, but that I can see.
That you can sniff.
Well,
too.
because her mouth is wrapped around it, so
Stay close as an inhaler. So stay away. Can't be treacherous.
Cloris Leachman's a super hippie,
Is she alive? Is she still with us?
She's alive and well, as far as I know. She did an episode of Celebrity Wife Swap with Pia Zadora. That's one of the greatest things in the world.
Was Pia Zadora the one that said, "Let's get naked and smoke"?
That's right. Yeah, she played the beatnik, partnered up with Rick Ocasek in Hairspray.
Oh my God, I'll never forget that scene.
It's a great scene, and she's a legend with the Razzies. Her husband, I can't remember his first name, but Rickless is his last name. And in addition to funding her first 2 or 3 films, one of which being The Lonely Lady, which is outrageous and is now available on Blu-ray through Shout Factory rather. So check that out. It's you have to watch it. I shouldn't spoil it, but maybe we'll post it on Instagram.
No, don't spoil it. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Well, only if I say no spoilers in an original story. Like
Okay.
if it's a real curveball, like there's 2 kinds of spoilers. Like in David Lynch movies, for example, there are no spoilers. Every
You can't be like, well, the guy likes to huff this stuff, and then he only drinks Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Right.
It's not going to spoil the story for you.
It's a non-narrative plot.
Yeah.
But don't you tell me that David Lynch movies don't have a plot? Don't you dare.
But sometimes you can't sort of.
It's non-narrative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's artistic. Oh, she said artistic.
And artisanal.
It's an artistic treatment of the modern film.
One other quick thing about Pia Zadora. So, like I said, her husband, I can't remember his first name, but Rickless. He's also the man who financed Glorious Ladies of Wrestling. He owned that hotel, and he bankrolled that whole deal.
He bankrolled the whole schmear.
The whole shebang.
Wow. Bankrolling. Ask your doctor if bankrolling is right for you. Working putting up in all the wrong places. Working putting up. No, I had the nerve. Who was that one?
That was the one where on Buckwheat Sings, they have all the names of the songs underneath each song. But then when he does that one, Betty Davis Eyes, it's just a row of question marks because it's too confused.
Well, Lady Bunny has a good one. She goes, "Can anybody understand what the hell Tony Braxton is saying?" And it goes, "Hey, hey, 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 hey." It's really, really fucking funny.
Listen, Craig, I just want to be like really sincere for a second. I just want to say that I'm sorry, and I don't mean to embarrass anybody, but I did have at least 3, upwards of 3 experiences with a particular man, and he certainly did yank all of the cum out of my dipstick.
Oh, wow, that's wild.
It's disgusting.
Today on That's Disgusting.
Yeah, the human race.
Exes and boyfriends and all that. Yanking. Yeah.
What did you say, All Stars 4?
Yeah.
Who are your predictions? I predict King Kong versus Godzilla.
Well, that's funny that I was going to say something similar, but Godzilla and Mothra. So
Mothra and She-Ra.
Yeah, well...
Wait, is Mothra
I was actually thinking of more He-Man, which I know is not a very popular thing to put a king in there with the queens, but...
Well, RuPaul is He-Ra and She-Ra and B-Ra.
Not B-roll.
Oh. Also, I want to clarify something, Craig, that's very important.
Yes, Katya.
There is a deep river of pussy juice flowing out of my panties at this very moment.
Well, that's why I'm glad I have a leather couch and not a fabric couch.
Well, if the tape was rolling, you'd know that their juice is flowing freely.
Look, I'm a little concerned about the rug, but at least the couch, which is, more visible, won't be affected.
Fabrics must be stained.
Well, I'm certainly going to be boiling the pillows afterwards, but...
Have you ever said to yourself...
No, but sometimes I go, ooh.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Ooh. Oh. Yep. Tofu decline. Where are you when we need you?
It's time to go to sleep.
Do you know you have a hypnot? You should do ASMR. Yes, you should.
Oh, yeah. It's becoming big now. The sort of, not spoof videos, but I saw one Jeff Goldblum doing ASMR, and then Aubrey Plaza. Not spoof. I'm trying to think of what it is. When a thing, it reaches a critical, what is it? I guess absorption into the mainstream. What is it? It's
it flips when it goes from irony to sincerity.
Yeah. But it's become a thing that on intended to be viral videos, they're like, oh, we know what we'll do? We'll have him do the ASMR.
That's a stunt.
There you go.
That's a stunt. Yeah. It's like, hey, Jeff, we know you're a serious actor capable of making lots of cash, but the kids really want this thing from you. Why don't you throw an egg in their Easter basket? That kind of thing. Yeah. It's a treat.
It's a little treat. It's a pleasant little 5-minute video.
It's a morsel.
It's a morsel of enjoyment, of happiness.
I think Maria Bamford would call it a tender treat.
You wanted to clarify something, and I don't know if we clarified it. I think you said you wanted to clarify something, and then we completely obfuscated it.
I wanted to clarify butter, which in India is known as ghee.
Yes.
Ghee. Now, if you guys need more kapha, no, if you if people out there are wanting to are very fiery and they're on fire like a furnace, like me. We are taught to have a lot of ghee in our bodies, which is clarified butter, and you can put it on toast, or you can put it in pasta, you can put it on anything, and it's great.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by ghee.
Get your kapha and get the fuck out of here, kid.
Get your fucking ghee and get out of my goddamn shala, you douchebag motherfucker. I also want to dedicate something to my mom's huge ass.
Okay, what would you like to dedicate to your mom's huge ass?
A turd.
Oh, that's very sweet. It's very sweet.
It's a turd.
It's very fitting.
Oh, it fits right in her bottom because it's wrapped in cinnamon. I want to say, I want to do an impression that's going to make no sense to anybody except to me.
That's good. Look, jokes for one person, as we've discussed before, are a good time. Oh, that's Michelle Visage. I'd know that anywhere.
It's not a joke. It's an imitation. Imitation is the highest form of faggotry. Wait. Do you know about YMHA?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Your mom's huge ass.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And you know about FAG and DIKE?
Refresh my memory.
Fag is fun and generous. Dyke is distinguished, intelligent, knowledgeable expert.
That I remember, yes.
Yeah, because when I say something, the children, they get all in a huff, so I spell it out.
Yes.
Because sometimes children don't know nothing.
Well, weren't we talking earlier about hermaphrodite?
We were. And then if you wanna get all riled up about certain things, I suggest you go to the dictionary, and then you also get out and organize.
You wanted to talk a little bit about honesty and integrity.
Yes. Okay, so I'm a flip-flopper. Mm-hmm. So when a politician puts his hat in the ring, his actions, they roll the tape, as it were.
Sure.
So people come out of the woodwork and say, hey, you know, that guy wants to be the president. He's actually a shitty asshole. Mm-hmm. So I have this conflated, enormous
asshole
that sucks up all types of furnitures.
Sure. Ottomans,
love seats and sofas. And when I
fainting couches as well.
The fainting couch. How about the turnting couch?
Oh, the turnting couch. Now, what era of history was that from?
You know what? My fainting couch would be the painting couch.
Okay.
You heard about the casting couch?
Sure. Oh, many times, yeah.
The painting couch is where I faint down onto a chaise, and then I paint a picture of myself that is so ghastly and ghoulish. But then I take it out of the sketchbook and I slap it onto somebody else's face and I yell at them.
Okay.
This is cannibal lectern.
That's also the new experiential package available from Katya.com. So go there now.
Katya.com/biz. Get your orders.
I'm sorry, Katya.tv. Katya. Yes. I'll remember that someday.
It's Katya.html. I dated two guys, one after the other. And the one, it was like Goldilocks, of course, when you don't really love yourself. You say, oh, I wonder if I can get love from that person. And then that falls apart. And then you're like, oh, I wonder if I can get love from that person. And then that love falls apart. And then you're like, wait, maybe RuPaul was right. Maybe I don't love my, and then you're like, oh, fuck, Ru was right. God damn it, I hate everybody.
Which tends to happen. Ru's usually right about these sort of things.
Well, Ru is often correct.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Ru. I love her.
Yeah.
Unironically, unambiguously, I love RuPaul the character. Unabashedly. I don't apologize about it. I love RuPaul the person. I love RuPaul the character.
Sure.
I think RuPaul RuPaul the character, you can't come for her.
Right.
I mean, that's a losing battle. You want to come for RuPaul the character, it's like, well, mama, do you have eyes? Also, do you have ears? Mm-hmm. Also, do you have access to a television? Because everything RuPaul does on television is really fabulous. Like, she is so skillful in her approach of what she says and does not say, and the choice of her words and everything. People want to, they love to talk shit about her. They're like, oh, but people tell her what to say. It's like, mama, nobody tells RuPaul what to say.
Right.
She's the executive producer of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Also, every show has writers.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not like you're like, what do you think? RuPaul is some kind of magical spirit that beams in? Well, she is actually. People, the guru, people want to make people into a guru.
Well, they want to pretend that they've magically appeared out of nowhere, a fully formed being that only spouts these perfect things. But everyone from David Bowie to Joan Rivers, whatever, collaborated with people. Joan Rivers had writers that she worked with. But for instance, like Chris Rock, before he does an awards show or something, he has like 8 of his favorite guys writing stuff.
But
he's the ultimate arbiter of what's going to be, and he's the ultimate shaper of all that. Just as Ru is, just as any of these people are.
Ru controls RuPaul's. Like Ru does not control the universe or the Dragiverse. What Ru controls is what comes out of her mouth on the show, and then it gets edited. And the thing is like it's also an illusion of control. Who control? People love to point the finger and place blame. They just want to feel included. At the end of the day, it's funny because I wish sports coaches were held up to the same ruthless standard of conduct that some public figures are, for example, RuPaul. And I'm not trying to make her into a victim because, girl, she don't need my help. And nobody needs my help, really, except people who are wanting to get fucked. No.
And if you are one of those people, call 1-800.
Ask your doctor if my 6.5-inch dick is right for you. I just confessed something. My dick is about 6.5 inches up to 7, depending on my engorgement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone, I think, kind of vacillates.
I'm
about half an inch
in the middle. I'm firmly in the middle.
Yeah.
And I only say that because I was naked and somebody might have taken a picture. And girl, I don't give a fuck. Girl, take a number. This goes out to, Craig, I'd like to give a shout out to the micropenises of the world.
Okay.
The micropenises. You know the Holy See? That's the Vatican?
Sure. This is not that. This is the micropenis.
This is the micropenis.
Yeah.
The sea of micropenile peoples.
Yes.
Who I'm not going to say they suffer greatly because if you're a man, I don't give a fuck. But if you have a tiny, weeny little dick like an elevator button, I say, you come over to my house and I'll press it. But my ex-boyfriend, hell no. No micropenis there. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I ever... No, you know what? Never mind. Is this slander if I say that I love people? Is it slander?
I don't think it's actionable, no. I think it's fine.
What if I just say that Brian Fergus has a huge, big, juicy ass?
I don't think... I mean, unless that person would be offended by that, I think that's probably a fine thing to say.
Do you think he would be offended if I said he had a huge dong?
See, I don't know the person, but I'm gonna just guess that probably not.
Would you be offended, Craig, if I said that Trixie Mattel, the man behind the mask, has a huge dong and a giant gorgini juicy ass that I would stick my motherfucking dingling if we were trapped on a goddamn desert island, you shitbag douchey motherfucker?
I might take issue with the tone with which you delivered that information. However, I certainly wouldn't be offended, nor do I think that Trixie, a.k.a. Brian, would be.
Would you be offended, Craig, if I said that was one of the best lays I've ever had in my motherfucking life?
No,
bitch?
Not offended, maybe intrigued.
Maybe intrigued. Well, I don't wish to air dirty laundry unless it's clean.
Unless you dirtied the laundry in a very, very happy way.
Mama, he never doo-dooed my laundry, if you know what I'm saying.
I'm saying happy way.
Happy way.
There are other kind of stains, you know.
There are other kind of stains. And you know what? When activity in the bedroom is about comunicación. And if somebody says, this is what I like and this is what I don't like, and you listen, congratulations, you're on the way to having a good sex.
Mm-hmm.
A good sex.
Yeah.
You're having a good sex.
You're having a good sex, as they say. Yeah.
It's whimsically volatile.
Kate O'Donnell, you're a yoga master.
Okay.
You got it. You're a yoga master. How long have you been doing yoga for?
20 years.
20 years. Holy shit. Okay. So can you explain to the average person who doesn't know anything about yoga, what the hell, why is it good to do yoga?
Well, there's also the question of kind of what yoga is.
Let's start there. Let's start
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, let's
What
start
the hell
there.
is yoga? Because some people have this image of like, la da 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 da, you know, and like there's so many different misconceptions of the different types of yoga. And
Totally.
Ashtanga yoga is a different animal.
In some ways, I mean, it's a specific methodology.
Okay.
You know, so there's a specific goal and there's a specific path that we walk in order to reach that goal.
Okay. How and what is that goal?
Self-transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you do that in this day and age? Pardon my French.
Yeah. I know. Slowly, and slowly.
What differentiates Ashtanga from like a type of yoga that I suppose it's called what? Hatha yoga?
Yeah, hatha yoga just implies any yoga in which like physical means are used to attain the goal of self-transformation. So hatha yoga is most of the yoga that we see in the West, you know, but Ashtanga yoga then, it's just a method that Pattabhi Jois taught very specifically. And the story I heard was that he was doing an interview with like Yoga Journal or something in the 70s. And they asked him, what kind of yoga do you teach? And he was kind of flabbergasted.
Okay.
You know, because there weren't all these delineations.
Yes. Okay.
You know, yoga was yoga and like you taught it how you taught it, but it didn't make it like its own thing. It was still just yoga. So the reporter asked him and he said Ashtanga yoga, which means the 8-limbed path. So he was implying that the yoga he taught involved all of the 8 limbs. So like how you live your life, the asana, the pranayama, the pratyahara organs, and concentration, meditation, and eventually samadhi, which is a total absorption in union with the universe.
That sounds pretty damn heavy.
You know, it's a life's work for sure. Yeah, it's like, it's not just something you fucking go do before you go to a movie.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people in the United States have a compartmentalized view of it as just another fitness tool, which of course it can be used that way because you get kind of hot body from doing yoga.
You do.
Yeah. And that's fun. You also specialize in Ayurvedic medicine, or just Ayurveda, the study of Ayurveda, which is what?
Which is the science of life. It's basically the medical system of India. So it's been around for thousands of years. It's the same philosophy that underlies yoga as well as Ayurveda, which I thought was very cool. So it makes sense. You know, we talk about things like control of the senses, care of the senses. We talk about self-transformation and enlightenment. And it's all a part of an overall picture of health.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff like poop and pee and acid stomach. And we have to get that stuff going on before we can worry about the next thing.
Right. Make sure the shell is taken care of before you dive into the creamy center.
Yeah, you got to get the poop and pee happening.
It's so true. Anyone who doesn't have that will attest to the necessity.
Yeah. Constipation is a killer in this industry, the industry of being a human being. But Kate, so I want to talk about, because without blowing smoke up your Ayurvedic booty hole, you're one of the most fascinating people I've met, because you have this way of teaching yoga, and I've been practicing yoga since 2001, and which is a long time, and I know all the types of yoga. I know how my body works and feels and is gravitates towards. Ashtanga is a fascinating system, and Kate has a way of breaking it down to the average person. I remember you talking about in an intro to yoga, like intro to the primary series class, about the body being a container, and that it makes shapes, and don't get confused or seduced by the different kinds of complex advanced contortion shapes. And it's not the acquisition of the shape, but just the body as a vessel and the ultimate goal being the graduation into pranayama, which is breath work and meditation, right? Like,
but you have to get the vessel to such a place where it can handle that kind of energy, and that's what the asanas are for.
Right. And the asanas are complex and gymnastic, but
and what are those?
Like the poses. You know, like you have triangle pose, Craig, where you make your body look like a star, and then you have 2 legs behind the head pose where you twist yourself into a pretzel. But the thing is, what is kind of intimidating about yoga is that, oh, my crazy body's never going to be able to make this shape. I can't do yoga. And Kate has the way of saying, like, well, listen, it's really just about the breath, the focus, and the experience, right? Am I wrong about that?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, it's like it's a state of mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Did it ever get hippy dippy? Does it ever get too hippy dippy for you?
Oh yeah. It really like, you know, you get that sort of like, oh, I'm Crystal Cade and welcome to my shala. Today we'll be balancing our chakras with gemstones. You know, it's like, visualize yourself on a mountain. Yeah. It's
and Kate's a pretty no nonsense teacher, but Craig, they do a style in where it's Mysore style, which is like the teacher observes very carefully people doing a self-directed practice. That's like an independent study. And Kate goes around and says, you know, you can progress to this the next point if you've achieved, you know, you get pose number A, B, and C, then you go into D.
Okay.
But Kate has cranked me into these crazy positions, and the amount of trust you have to have in a teacher is a huge. I mean, it's legendary because you've like split my body in half.
I do it every day. Yep.
There's adjustments, they're called in yoga, where you kind of fix somebody, and you just squash somebody like a bug and open their knees and their chest. And do you ever get scared about going too far, or are you so? Is it? I'm sure it's with experience comes incredible wisdom, but there must be kind of such a trust element between you and your students.
Yeah, and first of all, I had to have been crushed myself.
Yes, that's right.
You know?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that in that way, I'm not afraid because I've like been through the fire and I know, you know, like I'm still here. And Patabi Joyce used to really crush
yank
people.
it out. Really. And like just sitting, like describe what that even means for the people at home.
Well, he would definitely sit on you, you know. he'd use his whole body weight, you know, and just like push on you.
Yeah.
And it was like you felt like a piece of furniture.
Wow.
Sometimes.
I think that's hot. I've always wanted to be a love seat in an ottoman set myself.
Yeah.
But they do that in contortion school, because I'm no stranger to circus arts and acrobatics. If you're a rhythmic gymnast, which is like the contortionist kinds with the hoops and the ribbons and the balls, those coaches literally yank your legs from stem to stern and then just crank you like a clock.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
And, I mean, it's crazy. Like it makes the stuff that happens in the yoga room look like high, like luxury therapeutic massage. I had actually went away and had an introductory sort of publicity version of your cookbook that you just wrote.
Yes.
That thing is fucking genius, Kate.
I'm so excited about it.
Is it available now?
Today.
Are you fucking serious?
Wow.
It comes
That's
out today.
Yeah, it was released today.
What's it called, Kate?
It's called Everyday Ayurvedic Cooking for a Calm, Clear Mind.
Cool. And that's available at every general bookstore chain and Amazon, etc.?
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
A calm, clear mind, Kate O'Donnell. That sounds like a tall order. Are you going to deliver on this in this cookbook?
So these are a lot of high sugar recipes.
Yeah.
Is that...
Oh yeah, there's a lot of caffeine and alcohol.
Take a gallon of vodka and a bag of Snickers, mix it up, and go to bed.
Exactly.
So, where did you learn to cook?
Mostly in India.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I went over there when I was still in college, so I was just like figuring out how to cook for myself at that point.
Yeah.
And I just would hang out with women in their homes, and they would like show me what they were doing and teach me how to cook. So I know how to make more Indian food than I do Western food.
Oh, interesting. What was your level of experience with cooking before that?
I stopped eating meat when I was 16. And so I did kind of launch this cooking thing where I like my family would make something and I'd like make something for myself, but mostly I made like chili. I basically made like every kind of chili that you could make. Yeah.
Sounds like a fart bonanza.
Yeah, but it was. I actually like had to go to the doctor one time. It got so bad. Yeah.
Oh my God.
When did you get involved? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm not like a cook. I'm not a chef. People assume I'm a chef because I wrote a cookbook, and it's not that. It's a total accident.
Well, that's a happy accident, if you ask me, because you talk about because I went and had an Ayurvedic consultation with you, and that was a fascinating experience. She checked my tongue.
Yeah. She
took my pulse, and then she gave me a right hook in the jaw. Just kidding. That last one's a left.
It was a left hook.
Yeah, it was a left hook and a jab. She sort of did an assessment of the energetic kind of goings on of your body. And so there's three qualities that, what did they call doshas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is that pitta, vata, and kapha, three kind of energetic qualities in the body. And you say that a lot of the recipes are about adjusting these qualities in order to find balance in the body and mind.
Yes, but there's also three qualities that affect 3 qualities of energy that act on the mind.
Okay, what are those?
Those are different. They're called sattva, rajas, and tamas.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so
Sounds like
sattva
Lord of the Rings.
It's pretty cool. Sattva's like it's their natural state of mind,
Okay.
and so it's undisturbed.
Gotcha.
It's like you wake up in the morning and you're just chill.
Right. So
It's the calm, clear aspect.
Okay, the natural mode of being that's not too up or too down. It's pretty much like a good grasp of the capabilities of the intellect and the body at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And an ability to see things as they are.
Oh, see, now that one's going to take about 3 hours to unpack.
Yeah. It's a big one. It's funny because I was listening to another show that you did where you were talking about online dating.
Uh-huh.
And you were saying how dating's not really about dating the person. It's about like the process that you go through in between dates where you basically invent the person.
Yes! Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a love triangle whether you're having a monogamous, like the fantasy of the open relationship. I was like, I'm sorry, every monogamous relationship is really a quattro.
Right?
Yeah, it's really it's an orgy between your idea of the person, their idea of you, and then the actual realities, which is nebulous and ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes without saying that what you are, what you eat. I mean, that's a cliche for a reason. How did you come up with a balance for you, and like what works for you today in terms of food?
Well, I think the most important thing is actually just being okay with yourself.
Yep, that's a good start. Shit.
Yeah,
Sounds like a good baseline. Yeah.
Sounds like a really good baseline.
And so many people are scared of food and confused about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're afraid it's gonna like fuck them up somehow.
Yeah.
Well, you mean
like whether
different types of food or new experiences with food?
Just food, capital F.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, sure, because you've got your overeating and stuff, and your comfort food, and your guilty pleasures, and your addictions.
Yep. And your lack of food.
Yeah.
So people would come to me and be like, I don't know what to eat. They were so confused over it. And it's like, food is our friend. And when you take food as a friend, you digest and assimilate it properly, and it becomes the tissues of your body. Yeah. And then you have a friendly, healthy, happy body.
Yeah.
And so if the food is the enemy, then it's like you basically have an autoimmune disorder where you're like allergic to food because of the way that you're approaching it, because of the mind.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, because it's either a poison you have to bear or a medicine you have to endure.
Exactly.
Rather than like a nourishing treat. Like, listen, hey, it's like that's a really interesting way, basic but profound way of putting it. It has to be your friend because it literally becomes you.
Yeah, exactly. Like it makes us up, and it comes from the natural world. Like it comes from nature. So nature becomes us.
Do you sort of consult with clients about food specifically as well? I'm just wondering if you have any dealings with people with eating disorders who are looking to get a better handle on their eating habits?
Yes, definitely. And again, that's why I had to write the whole book about the mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will come to me about things that appear physical, but very quickly we get to the causative factor, and it's in an attitude or a perception.
The body-mind connection is really. It's not even a body. It's not even. They're not two separate things. I think that's what I love about Ayurvedic approach to thinking about the energies of the body and also how to adjust them through food. And it's not like it doesn't take food as a separate thing. It's a more integrated, holistic view of how to be a person.
Yeah, exactly. How to be a human being. That's the whole point of Ayurveda and yoga.
We were talking recently about discipline and how important it is to basically the quality of any practice or interest that you have in life. And so how important is discipline to yoga?
Oh, it's so important. It's so important because the whole point is about becoming aware of and changing our patterning. Yes. That which doesn't serve us, and I think the whole activity of evolving in a direction of self-transformation is to drop the shit that's not working for us.
Yeah.
Right. So again, it's part of basically a 360 everyday practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
When did you first get involved in the study of yoga?
Well, I went to India when I was 19 to teach English, and that was where I started doing yoga. I'd been like an African dancer before that.
You're kidding? And what? Are you serious?
Yeah, totally. West African dance was like my jam.
What the fuck? Holy crap, I never knew that.
Yeah, it was super fun. It's so different from yoga, actually.
Yeah, that's a lot more expressive, energetic, and yeah, that's great. I didn't know you had a dance background. A lot of people are drawn to yoga, who from dance, acrobatics, even circus stuff. It's such a. I feel like it's kind of yoga's like kind of ecstatic. If you get a groove in it, it's like that kind of bliss that comes from doing yoga is like, oh my God, it just feels fucking good.
Yeah. Yep. Like dancing was totally like that.
The music's slightly different though, right?
Yeah. No music in Ashtanga yoga, right, Kate? No music?
No music, just the sound of the breath.
Interesting. Yeah.
Which, Craig, can be extremely unnerving for the average or the beginner.
Yeah.
And it's you guys get the ball rolling pretty damn early in the morning, Kate. What time do you wake up?
Oh God, it goes between 3 and 4.
3 and 4 in the morning?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. So what time do you go to bed usually?
7:30.
Damn. What about on a Friday or Saturday night? You ever cut a rug?
Yeah, I might get crazy and eat some cookies and stay up till 9.
Really?
Listeners at home, we're not encouraging you do that. That's a little risky behavior, but
we don't encourage or condone the eating of cookies past 7:30 p.m.
Exactly. So just if you do that, fine, but we're not telling you to.
But Greg, Miss Kate is not a square. And it's interesting because how old are you? Oh, I would never ask a lady her age, but you're around my age, right?
39.
39. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow, you look great.
Thanks.
Yeah. But that's the yoga keeps you young.
It does. It really does. It makes your skin stay young.
Radiant.
Yeah.
The book, what I love about it is it's so fucking simple. The recipes are some of them are so doable, and they actually look beautiful. They look beautiful and tasty, but they're also. Can you explain the pitta, the kapha, and the vata qualities of the human body? And how the book, how the
book helps you sort of sort that out?
Yeah.
Like everything in our universe has qualities, cold. It's cold or it's hot. Mm-hmm. It's heavy or it's light. It's wet or it's dry.
Okay.
So some people have bodies that are cold and dry. Mm-hmm. That would be like a vata type person. Cold, dry, light.
That's my body.
You have a lot of that. Yeah. And you get more... the kind of disorders you have are due to coldness and dryness. So there's a hardness and a constriction that can come. Mm-hmm. And with the vata and these light qualities, the mind gets really out there.
Yeah. Janet from another planet out there. Woo!
Yeah, because it's so light. It's it's like the energy of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So your head is up there going all over the place.
Yeah.
So that, then you eat warm food and you cook your food so that it's soft and easy to digest, and you eat more dense and heavier food dairy.
Yep.
And it actually holds the body down on the earth.
An anchor.
Yes, and the same with the mind, so it kind of it's like putting a blanket, around your mind.
Yeah. Squeeze it up. I remember from Ferris Bueller, wrap a hot towel around your head, kid.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yep.
And you make this fucking turmeric milky elixir, and it's fucking fabulous.
Yeah, are you drinking it?
I like the turmeric milk with the
Nice.
I haven't got the spice all right though, but I've it's lovely. I also am, but I've always been a huge fan of anything milky and chai-y.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so good.
Even though you said earlier that it basically is about whatever works for each person, are there any foods in particular that are just bad for people? I mean, besides the obvious ones, but I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that.
There is one substance I've heard Ayurvedic doctors say is poisonous.
What?
And it's white sugar.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. They're most things, it's said in the classics that all substances in this universe can be medicinal as well as poisonous based on how you use them.
Sure, and quantities, etc.
Exactly. But white sugar is straight up poison.
But pixie sticks are okay, right? Ayurveda is they're down with pixie sticks because they're fun, they're light, they're colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and frosted mini wheats.
Oh, good. That's good. We just had a lovely little snack
Yeah,
of that.
Kate, if you're going to tell me I can't eat frosted mini wheats at every meal, then I'm just going to hang up the phone.
You're going to have a falling out, so just don't bring it up again. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we grew up on.
Yeah.
White sugar, Kate. How do you reverse the curse?
Oh, I think it's kind of a cold turkey thing.
You just got to get the fuck out of your body. Get it out.
Yeah.
Demon cast the out.
And you can eat other sugars, like maple syrup and honey and stuff, just not the white sugar.
Yeah.
And how many cigarettes can I smoke a day? Be truthful.
Oh, that's so bad for you.
What? No, hold on. I'm glad I'm sitting down because, listen, I am shocked. And I don't know what kind of propaganda this is that you're kind of spewing. They're bad for you. Wow.
The doctors in the 60s said I could do it. Yeah. Did you ever smoke cigarettes, Kate?
I did. I used to smoke Camel Wides.
Camel Wides, you badass
wow.
bitch.
Yeah,
oh my
badass.
God.
Growing up in New Hampshire.
Oh, that's a very New Hampshire cigarette. Yeah, I'm from Massachusetts as well.
Yeah, we're massholes through and through.
Yeah,
When did you quit?
In college.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started buying cartons.
Oh shit!
And then I was like, it's a juncture.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Yeah, it's a specific feeling when you open up the cabinet or the cupboard or wherever you have them, and you're like, oh, good, I got 9 packs left.
Yeah.
Or when you're down to 2 and you're like, I got to get another carton, quick.
Yeah. I recently started vaping, and I feel like a very uncool dad, but I really do want to. I want to not do the cigarettes anymore. I really don't.
We both have to quit.
Yeah, we both have to quit. But I heard a little birdie told me, certainly not you, Miss O'Donnell, but a little birdie told me that smoking can actually have an Ayurvedic property. Is that a complete bold-faced lie, or am I just trying to make a justification for a terrible behavior?
Well, smoking increases pitta.
Oh God, but I'm a pitta person.
Yes, it increases the fire element in your body.
So pitta is the fire. It's the fiery. I've had acid reflux so bad I threw up.
Oh, okay.
For spells at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fire in the gut, right, Kate?
Yeah, and you're putting it, right in the throat and the heart area.
Yeah.
Which is, for your profession, you use that.
Yeah.
So you're just pumping fire through there all the time.
I've often felt like a dragoon.
Yeah.
I have.
Well, you're wearing a Game of Thrones shirt.
I
so
am.
I think it's
literally, I'm wearing a shirt, Kate, right now that says "Fire and Blood."
Yeah.
Oh well, that's pitta.
That's pitta. Those are pitta people. We hold a grudge.
What about other substances? For instance, caffeine or alcohol, too, that we mentioned before.
Yeah.
Do you consume either of those?
I struggle with caffeine because I get up at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Everyone struggles with caffeine, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I draw the line with coffee though. Coffee is crazy. It's it's oily and it's sharp, and I don't do that on a daily basis. That's a special thing. So I do drink black tea.
Yeah, I used to be a heavy coffee drinker. I mean, all day long. Could have it right before bed. Then I stopped for a while and I went switched to unsweetened iced tea. And then after a while, I had a cup of coffee again, and I was like, "Oh my God, it was so aggressive." And I couldn't believe that I was sort of used to being humming on that frequency all day long.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we all hum on crazy frequencies.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a hummer.
Right? We use the coffee to maintain something that's not reality.
That's not reality. Life ain't moved that fast. Slow down.
It's and there's a lot of reality available to us when we're willing.
Whoa, that sounds like a there is enough reality available when we're not humming at a 4,000%.
Yeah, exactly.
What about alcohol?
Yeah, what about alcohol?
Alcohol is, in the classics, again, there are medicinal preparations of herbal wines.
Yeah.
You take they're kind of like digestives.
Yep.
I love to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think it's so fun, but man, it separates you from your subtle energy, technically.
Yeah.
And that, so it's the antithesis of yoga in that way.
Yeah.
So I find that I'll end up drinking when I want to be a normal person.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not. I get up at 3, I go to bed at 7.
Sure,
When do I ever, so I'll it's so funny because last night I was down in DC where I have a friend from college. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to meet my college girl. We're going to like, we go out, have 2 glasses of wine. And I was like, I was drunk. Got hit on by the bartender, which was awesome.
Oh, that's great.
That's great. Sounds like a good night so far.
Happened in a while. Yeah. But then I all of a sudden I'm sitting on the stool and I get this like intense fire in my stomach. Like I thought I was going to fall over. And then I got the hiccups. And I mean, it was like my whole body just was like, actually, no, we don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
You're like a cartoon.
Yeah, I was like that. I was like burping.
A wine burp is a hot thing. Yeah.
And let me tell you about yoga. The thing I love about yoga
thing is like it centers me and I'm just very together.
Yeah. So I'm funny about it because like I'll do it, but I'll drink at like 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And I only drink Patron.
Jesus Christ, Kate, you're a maniac.
Well, if you're going to drink, you have to drink, very specific things because why waste the activity on some garbage stuff?
Yeah,
exactly. And you have to find out what works for your body.
With that, Brian and I were talking about sleep cycles.
Oh yeah,
and everything recently and all the time. So some people get up very early, or some people have sort of irregular or abnormal sleep schedules as compared to others. What's your take on that?
There's a very specific take on that according to Ayurveda.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this is one of those things where I've heard, again, doctors draw a really hard line and they say there is no such thing as a night owl, like a night human.
Interesting.
It doesn't exist. It's like rat, it's like, oh, I'm a day rat. Here I am on this rat and I'm like, actually, I'm not into the night thing. I'm going to go look for food in the daytime. And then you get like killed by a dog or run over by a car. Like it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So humans we are on these cycles with the earth. And we're in the situation now where we don't have to be. But when you don't follow the sun, your hormones get messed up.
Okay, yeah.
And you can start to experience kind of like mental instability because of that. Like the master glands don't know what time of day it is. They don't know when to secrete hormones.
Oh, sure.
Okay, that is frightening to me. That sounds like a horror movie, the master glands.
I know, right? The master glands. And that's what yoga is all about, the master glands.
Damn. So, so in terms of hormonal imbalances, deficiencies, staying up late, doing the night shift, that stuff can have major repercussions on your mental health overall.
When you do it for a long time, yeah.
You can always reset, though, right?
You can, and it's advised to do that slowly, like 15 minutes every 2 weeks until you get where you want to be.
Sure.
Yeah. So what is the title of the book and where the hell can people get it?
It's Everyday Ayurvedic Cooking for a Calm, Clear Mind.
And are these recipes that a dumbass dingbat idiot like me could do?
That's like the whole point.
That's the whole point.
It's the whole point is that anybody can do it.
Yeah.
So Dishes for Dingbats was the alternate title?
Yeah, exactly. It was taken.
Oh, those bastards. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
What are 1 or 2 recipes in there that you could mention now so people could get an idea besides the turmeric milk that we were discussing before?
There's a coconut lime baked sweet potato.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I really like that one. And then there's this one's kind of cool. That's easy. It's just fresh grape juice.
Fresh? Did you get out of town?
Yeah, and it would be so good for you guys to drink that while smoking your cigarettes.
Oh, really? Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, it really like balances that.
The fire.
Because it's funny because this Welch's grape soda really isn't doing the trick. I feel like I just need more, and the carbonation's bothering me. Yeah,
I need some Concord grape juice, and I need it now.
What's your family's background with this sort of pursuit, or is there any? How did they process when you started getting into these interests?
That's a good question. I'm Irish. Both my parents are Irish, so my mom was a nun and my dad was a priest.
Wow.
You're kidding.
Yeah. They both were in Western Mass. Yeah. So my mom, from the time she was 18 to the time she was 29, she was a nun.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I know. Crazy
stuff.
Like?
That's funny because there's devoutness in both your pursuits and their pursuits, just different devoutness.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just like a different time. I don't like my mom. She didn't have choices.
Right.
Back then, when she was 18, it was like babysit for her 3 little brothers and sisters, or go to the convent.
Wow. I would have chose the convent any day.
Oh yeah, and they send you to college,
Hell
to
yeah.
art school.
Amazing.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think it was like tongue in cheek for her the entire time she was there.
Really?
And she has some crazy stories, crazy stories. Yeah. Like all the nuns were malnourished because the year that she signed up, there were like 60 nuns where there's usually 20.
No way.
They didn't have enough food.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Talk about aesthetic lifestyles. Damn, bitch.
Yeah. So she weighed like 90 pounds.
Oh my God.
What's good about those garments is that when you're starving yourself, whether it's intentional or not, no one can really tell.
Yeah.
No one's going to blow your scene. Yeah.
Keep it a secret at the convent. And what about your dad, the priest? How did that work?
He got to go to Rome and do seminary and all that.
Whoa.
And I don't really understand why he wanted to do it, be a priest. He was in college for chemistry and he like dropped out and went to seminary.
Yeah, that's slightly opposites. Yeah.
Yeah, right? He was presenting like Sunday services at a school where my mom worked. And he like was like the young priest who came up on the stage. And my mom says, in retrospect, she says she poked the nun next to her and said, if I weren't a nun and he weren't a priest, that'd be the guy.
Oh my God.
Isn't that awesome?
That's so cool.
So how long from then until they were basically declassified as citizens?
It was years. And he just kind of like disappeared. And no one knew where he went because he switched over to be an Episcopalian. So it was hush hush and everyone had stuff. Yeah. So nobody knew what happened to Father O'Donnell. And then my mom dropped out 6 years after that. And she found him.
Wow.
That is so dope.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, especially
so cool.
in the days when it was very difficult to find people. And when a priest disappeared and the parish does not want to discuss his new hobbies or pastimes.
Habits, yeah.
New habits.
Back in the habit.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense that you would grow up with a natural inclination to kind of pursue a spiritual path, to say the least.
Well, what was their reaction when you first got interested in what you're interested in?
My mom's hair turned white when I
really? She's like, not the yoga, you devil bitch.
She was like so worried about me, and I don't think they understood the philosophical underpinnings of asana, and neither did I. I just knew that I had to do this.
Yeah. Asana being postures and Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But to them, it looked like just craziness. I lost all this weight, and I was like out in the garage doing handstands all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think they understood it for a while.
Yeah, and then also eschewing meat and all of that for people with a fairly traditional Irish background seems a bit like heresy.
Yeah. I mean, my brother lives on like Philly cheesesteaks. It's so funny. We couldn't be more different in that way.
That's hysterical.
But my parents didn't get it for a long time, and it wasn't until I started teaching. That they started to see something about it.
Kate, you are a vision, a goddess, and you're a cool dude.
Thank you. You are too.
And Kate, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Oh yeah, the interwebs. Are you glued and locked into the internet superhighway?
Yeah, it's kateodonnell.yoga.
Bam.
How'd you come up with that?
Yeah, right.
What's your angle here, you charlatan?
There's a double meaning there, I think. Kate, it's been lovely talking with you, and thank you for enlightening us.
Yes, thank you, Kate, for talking to us. And I hope the people at home get the damn book and get their fucking energetic qualities under control.
And get that grape juice happening.
Yeah.
And, of course, the pee and the poop.
Yeah, the pee and the poop.
It's all, and people will enjoy better poop if they cook from my book.
I'm sold. I have to go to my gym class.
Well,
I don't have a gym class.
But you still have to go.
Mm-hmm. Craig, I'd like to say something to you.
Yes, what's that?
I hope you have a fine day.
Thank you. You as well.
I hope the listeners out there are feeling good, feeling energized, and
a little more together than perhaps we are right now.
Yeah, a little more together. And listen, everybody has dips in their energetic flow. I'm dipping right now. When I dip, you dip, we dip.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything else to add.
Okay.
So, well, thanks for listening, kids.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
We'll be back, and it won't suck. Ow!
Well, this didn't suck. It just wasn't very good. Okay. So long.
Bye.
It's whimsically volatile.